What's poppin'? What's poppin'? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another episode of Life According to Rick. How's everybody doing this week? I hope everybody's had an amazing week. Today will be a very special episode, and I say that because my guest today is somebody very special and dear to me, somebody that has experience living with me and growing up with me. So it's a conversation that needed to be had. So without further ado, my daughter Kiana. Kiana, welcome. How you doing?
Hi everyone. I'm good. How are you, Papa?
I'm good. I'm good. So I want to say thank you for taking the time to joining us on Life According to Rick. So for those of y'all that been tuning in, y'all know that I've raised my kids and I've always talked about being a single father at some point, raising my son and my daughter. So, um, what better person to talk about their experience growing up with me than my daughter herself? So, all right, Keek. So, why don't you let us know a little bit about yourself and so those listening out there, let them know like who you are. Like,
Okay. Hi everyone. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Kiana, and the man of the podcast, the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend. That's my Papa. I have been waiting a long time for this since he started the podcast. I'm like, Dad, when are you gonna put me on there? Let's have a quick duo sesh and get to talking, talk about life, and our upbringing together. Your first time as a dad, my first time as a daughter. So yeah.
okay, okay. So, I mean, basically, what was it like for you growing up with me? Like, so obviously, people that have been listening, I kind of briefly shared about, your mom going away for a period of time, which caused for you and Little to come, live with me and stuff like that. So my question for you is, at that point in time, like, what were you feeling? Like, what was your experience? I mean, I know that it must have been like life changing because obviously you guys had to just like up and come and live with me. So I'm just more curious as to like your thought process at that time. And I mean, you was like what, 7 years old?
I think at that time I was probably like, what? How old are you when you're in the second grade? Like,
You were like, I think you were like 7 or 8 because I think Little was also like around 8 years old. So I think you guys were like 7 and 8.
yeah, seven, eight. Um, I feel like at that time, I really didn't know what was going on, which I guess was the good part about it. Like, I just knew that, like we were coming to live, like we had lived, with my grandmother, and then we came to live with you. And obviously, I thought it was a better change coming to live with you because, you're my dad and I love you. I felt like as though at that time I was very much a daddy's girl. So every time with you was a good time. So I feel like at the time I really didn't think too much about it, but obviously me as an adult looking back at the situation and just how everything played out, I feel like I got to give you a lot of grace and a lot of, I always sit and I think and I'm grateful. I was like, my dad did, kind of make a lot of sacrifices and just the way like growing up it was you gave everything that you could with what you had, and I absolutely adore that about you. And when I think back, like even though, sometimes we may not have had enough or, like or just I didn't get everything that I wanted as an adult, I'm okay with that because, you did what you could as a single dad. Mm. I gotta give you your I gotta give you your props, your cakes, you know? You're a very good dad. I
Thank,
love you for that.
thank you, thank you. That means a lot to me. And obviously, as a father, it's always, our job to do the best that we can to protect and, provide for our kids. So that definitely means a lot to me. And so
Yeah, I feel like I don't really tell you enough as much as I should, like, you know. But I just think you should know yourself that you are a great father. Like I don't think that's something that I have to tell you every day because you should know by the actions that you have that you got it, G.
of course, thank you, thank you. I know. I mean, like you said, there was a lot of situations or, certain moments, I should say, that, it was kind of rough, especially in the beginning,
Yeah.
like when I first moved here from New York, like we didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And
We was right and then when we did get a car, we was riding our little hoopty, our Shelly. That was our car name, y'all. My dad named her Shelly, and he has named all his cars ever since. And I have now named my car because it was a thing when we were growing up. Shout out to Storm. I love her. That's my girl. Even though she breaks down on me every couple months, like
it's crazy because for me, like I remember like when I first moved out here and we moved into the sardine can.
the sardine can, the ice cube, ice
Yo,
cube.
that little one bedroom apartment was crazy, but
Yes,
that was our little spot for a good minute.
it was. It
Uh
served its purpose.
it did. But like I remember like us first moving into the apartment and because we didn't have a car, like I remember like getting up early and getting you guys ready for
Yes,
school,
and then walking to school.
walking
I
to
remember
school.
when you were, I remember a day like in the summertime or close to the summertime, we had walked to the South Lawrence East and like to like sign up for classes, like to register.
Yeah.
And I remember that walk and we followed that walk for the entire like entirety of
We had like
the
a
school
specific,
time.
yeah, we had like a specific route. Like it was just,
Right, the easiest route.
the easiest route. Yeah, until we finally did get a car and things got a lot easier. Like, man, I
Right.
remember the one time it was winter time and we had to go food shopping and we walked.
Yo, I remember that. You carried all those bags. That's what I'm saying. Like, I could not sit here as an adult imagining me having two kids and carrying all these groceries. And let me tell y'all, that was not a easy fate walk. Like, it wasn't no 2, 3 miles. I promise you, from the apartment that we was living in to the grocery store was like a good over 10 miles, I think.
Nah,
Nah,
I
nah,
don't think
10 miles is dragging it. Maybe like
it probably felt like 10
it
miles.
sure did. With my little 7, 8 year old legs, I was like, damn, I'm working out. Like this
No,
is
it
crazy.
was it was snowing and it started to snow when we were like walking back and I was like fuck like and we didn't have money for like a cab or anything like that and I remember like I had my backpack and I was trying to like put like as much stuff in my backpack as I could and then
The
try to
North Face,
yeah.
North Face is real durable. Let me tell you, shout out to North Face because I think you do. You still have that bag?
Nah, it got really beat up and then I got rid of it.
Yeah, but let me tell you that North Face bag was real durable. Like I know that you had it for a while.
Yeah. No, but that was crazy. Like those were like those moments that, that were rough and
But there was even some moments where it was good. Like I was just telling my mom about this the other day, but I remember that like there would be times where, like me and Little would tell you like, hey, like we want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, like Chuck E. Cheese, like, we're kids, we want to go. And you were like, oh, like I remember you were like a little doubtful at first. You're like, how are we gonna get there? We don't have a car. And then, like obviously us kids were like, ah, whatever, like, and I remember you were like, okay, we can go, but we have to walk. Let me tell you, that was a real truthful walk. But at the end of the day, that was a great
No,
day.
I remember no, because I remember Elaine's mom had gave us a ride.
Yes, we were halfway walking, either halfway
No, no,
walking
she
there.
no, she gave us a ride to Chuck E. Cheese, but then we had to troop it back.
Right.
And it was like it was already kind of late
Yeah,
when we were
it
walking.
was already dark.
Yeah, it was mad dark, and that was a hike.
That was a hike, but I remember having the most fun time. Like to me, and to me, it was like an adventure. Because, like, hey, we're walking to Chuck E. Cheese, we're having a great time at Chuck E. Cheese. And then, we're walking back, and, it was just a real struggling but bonding moment because I was on a walk with my dad and my brother, and we're walking back to the house. We just had a great time at Chuck E. Cheese. I feel like I do remember getting a little tired because I was like, yo, I just spent all this energy at Chuck E. Cheese and now I gotta walk this back. This is
Yo, I
crazy,
was I
but
was tired. Yo, I was like, damn,
let me
this is like a ill hike. Yo, like it was mad deep. The from Methuen to South Lawrence was like
yeah.
that was yeah
It was definitely an over 30-minute walk. Yeah.
yeah it was super far and but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen because I
Right.
know that we was cooped up in the sardine can and like
Yeah.
sometimes I know that it was a lot to be cooped up in the house, so I was like, you know what, whatever, we'll make the effort, and we went, and it was worth it, to see you guys having a good time and stuff like that. So that's why I said, I was like, disclaimer, we can go to Chuck E. Cheese, but yeah, we're gonna have to walk back because we can't,
Right.
they ain't have Ubers or anything like that back then,
Right.
so
And shout out to Uber because it made things a lot easier for people without cars.
yeah. And I don't think the buses were running back then because we probably could have taken the bus, but it was already late.
It would have been a honestly because I remember taking the bus when I in the beginning of college because I didn't have a car at the time,
Yeah.
but the bus they'll get you there. They'll get you to that loop from Lawrence to
No, no, no,
Methuen.
yeah, but I think because when we went, it might have been like a Saturday or something like that, or Saturday. I think it was a Saturday because it was like the weekend.
Right.
But I know that it was late, so like the buses out here
Yeah.
don't run till like a certain time, so I
Yeah.
don't think that we was gonna be able to catch it back home. So that's why we ended up walking. But
Yeah. And me and Little, we was like, yes. All we heard was Chuck E. Cheese. When you told us, hey, we can go, but we gotta walk, me and Little was like, all right, hey, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese.
I know we did have a lot of good times in the sardine can. That's what we used to call it. It was literally a one-bedroom apartment, and you walked in, and it was like the living room. The kitchen was like literally like it was like a small space with the fridge right behind the from where you would do the dishes, and then they had like these big exaggerated like tall cabinets with like 4 or 5 shelves. You would probably need like a stool or something to like put stuff away.
Right. Like those top two shelves were useless because who was reaching up there to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that
nobody
stuff?
was reaching all the way up there. Yeah, and then we had like the microwave right next to like
Yo, you remember that time I almost blew up the microwave?
yo.
Yo, y'all, I was just trying to heat up some tater tots that my dad had made me, and I just didn't know how to this is really kid mindset because I didn't know how to work the oven. I was like, okay, let me put it in the microwave for the same time that, dad puts it in the oven for. And I think I had set that microwave to like I think it was like 20 minutes or 90 minutes. I don't remember what I put.
I think you did 90 minutes, and I'm
I
like, cause
did do nine. No, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I did do 90 minutes and I completely forgot about it.
but you know what's crazy? Cause I remember I was like, I think I was in the living room, and I kept hearing the microwave, and I'm like, yo, why is the microwave running like mad long? Like, what is happening? And you were like, oh, I put my tater tots in there, and I said, yo, take them shits out of there, like they're gonna cook, like, bro.
Yo, let me tell you, by the time that I went to go look at the microwave and I seen that it was at like 5 minutes, I seen it was at like five
Now
minutes.
I don't think it went all that time. Like,
No, I think that it did because when I opened the microwave, it was on fire. And I remember not telling you that it was on fire because I did not want to get in trouble. So I took a big ass cup of water. I was filling it up. I was like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't notice. Then by the time that I got back and I seen the fire and I was like hesitant to throw the water, you had already came up on the side of me, took the water and threw it at the fired up tater tots and I booked it because I was like, yo, I'm gonna
yo,
get
you know
it.
what's crazy? Like, I really don't remember it like that. Like, I think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I vaguely remember. Like, I remember that day, like, you put in the tater tots, but I don't remember like it playing out like that. I
You
mean, unless I'm just like,
Nah, because you know what? There do be sometimes where I tell you things about like, like growing up and like you're like, "Really? That happened?" But I that's how I remember it. It was on fire and then I grabbed the water and I was going to throw it, but you got to me before I could, do that. And then I remember you were going off. You're like, "What the I was just like, let me go to my room, let me hide. Like, I'm about to get in so much trouble. Like,
that's crazy. Wow. But do you remember like when I used to take you guys to work with me like on the weekends?
yes. Oh my goodness. And I remember, I forgot what the place is called, but I remember that you would take us and we would sit in like the little break room outside of like,
The pharmacy?
outside the pharmacy. And you gave us your computer and we would watch movies or I just remember using that computer to like watch movies or like whatever. But I'm sure you gave us like things to like draw and stuff like that. I remember one day when I accidentally spilled water. I accidentally spilled water on the computer. Yo,
Yo,
it was crazy.
I was pissed that
I
day.
know. I remember. And like, I don't know what I thought, but I remember the water spilling on it. And then I remember like being like, oh my God. So I just shut the computer off or I closed it or I don't remember what I did with it. But I remember that, we tried to open it back up and it wouldn't turn on. And I was like, yo, I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Mind you, it was like at that time it was like one of those like MacBook Pros, so it was like mad expensive.
Yes.
And yeah, I remember that. I was like, yo,
I
what?
remember we went to the mall to see if you can try and fix it. And they were like, no, you might as well buy a new one. And you
Yo.
were like, yo, what the? You're like, all right. Okay, thank you. We went out. We came out of the mall.
And I slammed the shit out of
You
it.
slammed that fucking
Yo, I was
computer.
pissed. Yo, I remember that. Yo, I was like, I was like, I can't fix my computer. I'm like, I told you to be careful. Yo, I was sick.
I felt bad. I felt bad. I was like, damn, like I really did a big one on this one.
I
But you
think
know what? I wasn't even the most problematic. Please, like I did a couple things that it was like, yo, this little girl, Jesus. But I think for the most part, like I was a pretty good kid.
I remember you guys used to like slide down the hill
Yes, the
in the
trash
winter.
bags. Hill was too big not to do it. And then it's like, we're here in the wintertime, we're bored. So we would ask you. I don't remember if we would like go in the pharmacy. I remember there were times where we did go in the pharmacy to be like, hey, like, can I get my dad? Can I talk to my dad? So that we can ask you to like go outside and play and like whatever. And I remember like me and Little, we would be inventing like, oh, like get the trash bag, let's slide down this hill. And it was pretty
It was
steep hill,
steep. It was steep.
but it was
Yeah.
so fun. And we would like explore the property and shit.
Yeah. I know that was crazy. Like, I mean, I remember because, I couldn't leave you guys home alone.
Right.
At least at that point, and I had no choice but to take you guys to work with me because
Right.
I didn't have no babysitting or anything like that. So we had to do what we had to do.
Right. I know.
Those were crazy times.
Yeah.
I'm not saying your opinion, but you know, do you think that I was like strict or like, you know, and be honest because I
Okay,
know I
I always keep it 100.
like I know I like I think back and I know there's I think back on certain situations and I'm like damn, like I was hard on you guys. Well, at least I feel like I was hard on you
Yeah, but
guys.
you know what? I feel like again, as an adult, looking back at how like strict you were. Okay, so my answer is I do think that you were a strict parent, but not in an unhealthy way. Like strict in the sense like, yo, if we want to do something, we need to ask you. And if it's a no, then all right, like that's a no. Like that's it. And like when it came to like hanging out with friends and things like that, I just don't feel like you were like an unhealthy strict parent because there are unhealthy strict parents that are like, yo, your parent doesn't let you do that. Like that's crazy. But, everybody is different when it comes to parenting. But I feel like because you were like that, I feel like I will also set out to kind of be like that when it's my time to become a parent.
Yeah,
Not like, "Ooh, I'm gonna be cracking down on my kid, like I'm not gonna let them do nothing." Like not to say that you did that or
yeah,
anything, but I just feel like when I become a parent, I'll probably be more on the strict side because you were like that with me. And I don't think I'm a bad adult. I feel like I'm very much like I'm not somebody. I don't cause trouble or like like do too much. And I feel that's because you know you were strict as a parent, so I knew like okay, if I do this, that's wrong. If I do this, it's okay.
right. And I feel like, and I think I spoke about this on my last episode. I was talking about, like being a parent first and then being a friend. But I feel like,
I remember you would tell me that all the time.
yeah, I'm not,
Whenever I had you fucked up, you would be like, "Yo, I'm your dad first, and then I'm your friend.
yep.
So don't get it twisted." And I was like, "All right, bet." Like I was like, "Okay, sorry about it. I'm so sorry."
No, yeah, yeah, because I feel like, it was more so giving you guys that structure,
Right,
making sure that, you know, you guys were doing things the right way to prepare you for like being adults. You know what I
right,
mean? So it was more along those lines and not to be like a hating ass dad or anything like that. You know
right,
what I mean? It was like, I gotta set my kids on that narrow path and prepare them for the future.
right.
So
Because
that,
I feel like if some people do lack that strictness, then your kid will very much be walking all over you. And
yeah,
me as I work now, like with kids, I definitely do see that, like how the parents, are with their kids and how they act. Kind of like if you think about it like this, like when parents send their kids to school, the teacher's strict. Hey, when I'm talking, don't talk. This is a class. And then, when you're home and the kid is talking to the parent is like, hey, like, keep it down. And the child is not listening because it's like, you're my parent and like you aren't really like cracking down on me like to listen, so I'm not going to. But in school, the teachers do crack down on you because, they're trying to educate you and prepare you. So But I just feel like when parents are have a certain level of strictness with their kids, it's just better for them because
Right.
they learn not to be like crazy ass people in life.
Oh yeah, to not be degenerates of society, you know what I mean?
Right,
Not to say that in a bad way, but I feel like a lot of the times when you don't set those structure and discipline early on, like that's what's gonna happen.
right,
You know what I mean? The kids are gonna have like, well, you wasn't doing it before, so why you doing it now?
right.
Yeah.
I get you.
So, what were some of your best memories of like when you guys were growing up?
My best memories. I don't know because I feel like there were so many good ones that it would be kind of hard to think about. Like,
To just pick like
yeah,
just
to pick one, I feel like would be hard. But I mean, I guess if I'm choosing one off the top of my mind, is when we took that trip to Miami for like my 15th birthday. And I got to meet my great grandmother for the first time. Well, obviously she met me, but it was me meeting her. Like, I'm 15, I have memories of my own now. Like, I'm
yeah,
meeting you, and
for her 90th.
for her 90th birthday, and then we had a family reunion. I got to meet all my cousins
Yeah,
and
that trip was
just
good.
family that I had never met.
Yeah.
And it was just, I loved it because, here where we live now, I feel like I really have my immediate family, like you. I have mom, I have my brothers, and a couple cousins from, like my mom's side. But I feel like when we went down there, I really got to see like my dad's side of the family. I loved everybody that I met. Like I remember meeting Adriana. I remember meeting Ariana, Julie and Ricky's daughter,
Yeah.
and I remember their two sons. They're
Yeah.
grown now,
Yeah.
but I remember meeting them when they were kids.
Yeah.
And I met Inaj, and I met Titi Hioni, and I think I had met Uncle. Remember meeting Uncle Du on that trip, but I don't know if I remember meeting him before that trip. But I remember.
Yeah, when you were like you were just like a baby. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I meeting everybody on that trip. Nito, I met his kids at that time too. I don't think they had Elijah at that point. No, they did have Eli, their youngest,
Yeah, Isaiah, yeah.
Isaiah. I did it. I met him after
Yeah.
that trip, but
Yeah,
I loved it. It
that
was
was a
such a
fun
great
trip.
trip.
I remember like I remember me like preparing like the sandwiches and all the snacks
Yes,
for the flight.
I remember that. I do.
I said, listen, I said we kind of on a budget, so you know the airports is mad expensive. So I remember
Yes.
like making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I had bought like crackers and cookies and all
And
kinds of
I
stuff.
remember that. I remember it was during like school. I remember it was during the school year that we went on that trip.
Hmm.
And I remember that I had to do homework on the flight, and I was like, "Yo, this is basically my first time taking a flight. I got to do work.
Yeah,
This
I
is
said you better make sure you do all your
yeah." And
homework.
you did, and let me tell you, that flight. How long was that flight? Like 2 4 hours?
Nah, I think it's like 3.5 hours
Yeah,
from here to Miami on the plane.
yeah.
Yeah,
I got all that work done in that time because I was like, I'm gonna be in Florida. I gotta be school free. I
yeah.
gotta.
No, that was a good trip
It
too.
was a good trip. I would say off the top of my mind that was like a highlight moment.
Yeah. And then we used to go to New York a lot.
We did go to New York a lot.
Yeah.
I loved spending the weekend with Prima and Matthew and John.
Yeah.
Like those were highlighted moments for me too. Damn, now you made me think about it. Those were also really highlighted moments for me too.
Yeah.
I loved them.
Those are I used to I'm like, yo,
Shout out to you, Prima, if you're listening. I love you, girl.
I remember I'm like, yo, get pack a bag, we leaving to New York.
Yes. And let me tell you, my eyes would light up because I love those New York trips.
Yeah, we used to have mad fun going to the city.
Yes. I remember when we went to Times Square for the first time. with them.
Hmm.
And taking that picture on the M&M escalators.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and then yeah, at that time when the Toys R Us store was still like open, we went to
Yeah.
Toys R Us with the Ferris wheel inside and everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Those were fun
those
times.
were like really fun times. All right,
Mm.
Keek, so we gonna get a little bit deeper right now. So,
Oh,
what's a moment in your life you wish I showed up better for?
oh, that is a good question. Are you ready for the answer?
Yeah, listen, we
Right, but you know, we get deep. We're gonna get deep, and you know, I like to pride myself in being able to have deep conversations, especially with my parents. But I guess I guess I'll say like in my adulthood life, like I just wish you were there a little more. But then I say and I think and I'm like, okay, well, he is taking care of uh he has a new child who's only 3. We have Harlow, and I love him so much. But I just feel like in my adult life, like I'm still very much like, damn, like I need my dad because this let me tell you, this adult life ain't no joke. And you know, when we were younger and you would say like, you know, growing up is like not all that. I didn't understand it until I grew up. So,
no, yeah, yeah, like I feel like everybody in life goes through that. Like even myself, like, and I was a parent young, early,
right,
17. We had Gordo, and and then little, and then you.
yeah.
So,
Which I can't sit here. I'm 23 now. So by the time that you were my age, you already had 3 kids.
right.
And I couldn't even fathom having 3 kids at this age. I would drown. Like I would drown and I wouldn't come up from drowning because a boulder would be holding my ankle. That's bad. I would drown with three with 3 kids right now, especially in this economy. So, you know, that's why I always like to whenever I can and whenever I do remember like give you your props. Like it's a lot and it's hard and feel like even with how the economy was in 2009, it was probably still like very expensive to live, to feed, not just yourself, but 2 other mouths. But, you know, anyways, back to the question. Yeah, I just feel like I guess I just wish you would show up more in my adulthood, but I get it.
I understand. I mean, I will take accountability for that because I know that, with your brother, your little brother, and work, and it's like my time is like I feel like the days for me, they're like a blur. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like there's 24 hours in the day, and I feel like where the fuck did the day go?
Right. I feel that way too, to be
So,
honest.
and sometimes I do wish that I can be like, hey, like let's do something, but I know that you get busy and stuff like
Right.
that, and I know that you guys are older and you guys have your own thing going on, but
Right.
you know, I will say that I do have to do better with that,
Yeah.
and I will work on that because I know that I've told you before, like, I do want us to like, kind of like spend more time together and like do more things, like even like now having you here on the podcast, like I feel like this is a good time for us to kind of like bond over like.
Right. And I love moments like these. I feel like one of my love languages is very much quality time. And, you know, obviously we don't live together now. I live with my mom. But and the quality time that we spend together, I absolutely adore it because we'll just literally be sitting, both of us on the phone, at the dinner table, and I will be it. But I love that because you know, even though like not much is being said, it means a lot. Just like if you was to sit here and be like, oh, when you do say like, oh hey, like like come over, like let's watch a movie. I will sit here with my mouth shut watching that movie. And if it's a movie you choose, even better because I know it's a Marvel movie. And you know what? I love me a Marvel movie. I'm a Marvel queen. Like I will sit here and I will watch that. But I just love quality time and I just want that more, even though like you are very
I
busy.
I was talking about one of my other episodes, right? I was talking about like how we used to do Marvel premiere night
Yes, love those.
and how we when ever since like the first Iron Man came out,
Mm-hmm.
because I was kind of sure because Iron Man 1 first came out like in 2008,
Right.
and then I came out here in 2009, and then after that we started going to like all the Marvel
Yes,
movies.
I remember going to all the Marvel premieres. Like we would be there at Thursday night, 7 o'clock, watching the brand new Marvel movie that came
Yep.
out. And you know what? I'm still like that. I mean, I'm probably a little more lenient. I'll probably go on like a Friday because I know that I don't have work the next day.
Hmm.
But I'm always catching a Marvel movie on like the first 2 days that it comes out because we would go when we were younger. I low
Yeah.
key wish we would go more together now.
No, no, yeah, but that I was basically explaining like because we took Harlem to see the new Mario movie,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, like it was like a test run because we're trying, I'm trying to see like if we can get him to sit through the movie, so
Right.
then that way we can all start going again with him. So
Right.
because now he's getting a little bit bigger,
Hmm.
it'll be easier for us to sit and watch the movie with him.
Right. And I think that would be cute too. Like Harlem is our new addition to our Marvel movie runs.
Yeah, yeah. And he likes Hulk, he likes Iron Man,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man is his favorite. So we're hoping that for Brand New Day we can.
Yes, I'm so excited. Did you see that they on I think it was Comic-Con, but they showed the new Avengers Doomsday trailer.
Yeah.
Nobody has leaked it. They leaked the whole of Avatar movie. They didn't leak the Avengers Doomsday trailer. And I think that that's crazy, but whatever.
Not for nothing, like I think when it comes to Doomsday, like I don't want any spoilers.
Nah, you're right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure once they release a trailer, like whatever, like I'll watch it.
Right.
But I don't I don't want to see anything leaked.
Right. It's just that I'm so excited because we're gonna see Robert Downey Jr. come back, but as Victor Von Doom.
Hmm.
And then Steve Rogers is coming back, but like, when
I
he was
know
supposed to be gone,
I know it's the excitement.
I'm just so excited. We're gonna see Daddy Thor, like because he's a daddy now. And I'm just very excited and I need them to drop the trailer already.
Nah, and I think for me, what's more exciting is seeing the Russo brothers come back to direct
Right.
Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yes, I can't wait.
That's gonna be so.
Hey Marvel, I need to see these movies.
It's gonna be fire. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year for Marvel this year because
Yeah.
um, a Brand New Day comes out in July, and then they're re-releasing Endgame, I think in September.
Really?
Yeah, and
What are they adding new to it?
there's gonna be like I think
Fight scenes?
like there's little scenes here and there. Like there's gonna be little I don't know exactly what's gonna be different, but I think it's just more for like the anticipation for Doomsday because
Right.
supposedly it's supposed to pick up after like Endgame type of thing.
But I like that though.
Yeah.
I like that, and I'm just gonna cry again when I see, spoiler who hasn't seen Endgame, Natasha and Tony die.
Listen,
I'm just
whoever hasn't
really
seen Endgame by now,
that movie has been I don't know how many years. So if you haven't seen it, that's way too bad that I
yo,
just spoiled it because
I literally remember like when we went to the movies to watch, like you can hear a pin drop,
yes, it was dead silent.
and then everybody had the sniffles.
Right, all you heard was from me, you heard those sniffles because when Natasha really real life sacrificed herself for Clint, I was like, yo, I would do that for my bestie too.
Yeah, those were like good times. I think we'll eventually get there where we start going to like the Marvel premieres again. I mean, obviously we had to take a little break because of Harlem,
Right,
being, little and stuff like that and not being able to go.
right.
And then you guys moved out, so but I think we'll
Yeah,
eventually get there.
life just gets in the way, but we'll circle back. We'll
Yeah.
circle back to
No, no,
it.
for sure. We'll circle
Those
back.
are traditions, and I refuse to let them go.
Right, right.
Okay, y'all. As we wrap up this beautiful podcast, I have one question for you, Pa, that I want to ask you to kind of change the dynamics around a little bit. You were sitting here asking me, and now I'm gonna ask you. But what something you struggled with as a father that you never said out loud?
I mean, I probably may have said it out loud now with my
Right.
podcast because I feel like I've been more therapeutic and I feel like,
You've grown since.
yeah, no, I've grown a whole lot since then, going to therapy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I feel like back then when you guys were younger, for me, I did deal with a lot of depression.
I feel like I low key saw that
Yeah,
as an adult when I think about it.
yeah,
Like, obviously, when you're a kid and you see, like, like your dad and like sipping a beer and like there was I remember there was one time that I saw you sipping like a nice big old jumbo presidente, but you were crying while drinking it. And I was like, obviously at the time I didn't really think too much about it. I think I probably just gave you a hug
yeah,
and asked if you were okay. But, as an adult, I think, that you were struggling with a lot of silent depression as a dad.
yeah,
And, you're a single dad who doesn't really got family. And so it's like you basically had to deal with that yourself.
right.
And thinking back on it, it's sad, and that's why I like to give you a lot of grace and a lot of um praise about you raising us, because even though I personally didn't speak on, like, the sadness that I saw, like I saw it,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't in the, I guess, mental capacity to sit down and have a conversation with you because I was small
Right.
about that.
And it's crazy that you say that because I feel like a lot of the times, I kind of waited for you guys to like go to sleep to
Right.
kind of just like deal with stuff like that, like quietly
Right.
without, letting you guys see that side of me and stuff like that. Because obviously, as a parent, I still had to show up for you
Right.
guys.
Right.
So there was a lot of moments where like, I kind of waited for you guys to go to sleep and kind of like had to cry. I would cry.
Right.
Like you said, I would drink my jumbos and kind of like,
Yeah.
distract my mind from certain things. But yeah, like that's basically, I did feel alone a lot because obviously I didn't have the help or the support system that
Right.
a person should have. So, it did get hard at times and, it was frustrating and, sad and depressing because, you're raising two kids on your own and, it's kind of like, fuck, like it takes a village to raise kids, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I'm
And you
going,
didn't have your
I
village.
didn't have a village, right? And mind you, and then the struggles of like not having a car and
Right. It's a lot.
it was a lot.
It was a lot. But honestly, and the thing too is I feel like I low key kind of picked that up, which I'm trying my best now as an adult to stop that. In the sense, like, oh, well, I don't really want anybody to see the pain that I'm going through, so I'll wait until I'm by myself to like
Oh no, no, yeah. I
to like, you know, do like if I need to cry, then I cry.
right.
If I feel like I need to if I put myself in a bad mood, then like I'll just kind of sit with myself and not really talk to anybody so that I don't like project that to other people. But obviously, I I just try to strive to be a better person in general. So if I am ever having feelings like that, I try my best to like talk to mom or talk to you if I can, and
Right.
just because I have those people that I can talk
No, no,
to.
yeah, you have those outlets,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like for me, it was more like I want to say it was more like denial in
Right.
a sense, like I didn't know how to navigate those feelings. And, I was a lot younger, and, I didn't really think that I needed therapy when I, in fact, did need therapy.
Right, because I feel like men, especially back then, like in
Right,
2009, like early 2000s, there was this stigma that, like a man just shouldn't have his emotions. They shouldn't feel. But no,
right,
men are too human, just as women, just as
right,
children. They should be able to cry if they feel like they need to cry, and nobody should be like, ugh, what the fuck? That man is crying? What a bitch. Because no, that's not what that is.
right,
I personally feel like if a man shows emotions, he has the potential to be emotionally intelligent, because if I'm talking to someone and I'm like crying or whatever, instead of being like, ugh, why are you crying? Like, get over yourself, stop crying.
hmm,
No, you should want to be like, hey, what's wrong? Try and help me feel, at least better about whatever it is that I'm going through.
yeah.
I feel like women should also show up for men when it
Not
comes to emotions.
right. And I think that's where I was at back then, not, that stigma, like, oh, like I'm a man, like I don't need to feel sad or whatever,
Yeah.
and like kind of like hiding those feelings and suppressing it. And in turn, it was just kind of making things worse in a sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's kind of like stuffing everything. I used to say it like this when I was younger because I used to do it. But like it's like kind of stuffing everything into a box until like you can't stuff anything anymore, and then it just explodes,
Yeah,
and not in the most
overflows.
healthy way.
Right.
So, but I'm glad that you were able to go to therapy at some point and learn how to navigate your feels, because
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah. No, definitely.
The Nile is a river in Egypt. we don't live in Egypt. We live in America.
Oh man, but I'm definitely glad that you came on the podcast.
Me too.
It's definitely been an honor, and it's been a lot of fun just kind of like catching up and just having like a father-daughter conversation.
Yes, I live for moments like these, and I love just getting like, again, pause, raw and deep when having a conversation, because I just feel like, wow, like you could really, it feels good to open up to someone.
Yeah.
So especially when it's like your parent, it's even better.
I feel like, having you guys at a young age was kind of like a gift and a curse because,
Yes. Mhm.
granted, like, I became a father like super young, but I feel like the gift in that is like now you guys are like a lot older, like, we can have certain conversations,
Right.
without it being like weird or whatever. You know what I mean? And it that's the beauty in it. Like I
Right.
feel like it's, we can have a conversation as two adults,
Right.
and I feel like now, like even though like I said, like I'm always gonna be your father first, but now I can be you guys' friend.
And then exactly. Like
Right,
in my mind it will still always be he's my father first and then my friend.
right.
But I like that now that I'm older, it can be my friend and then my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, in certain
In
situations.
certain situations, of course, because I can't be, I don't be doing nothing crazy, but then if I do get myself into something crazy, I know you're gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me, Kiana Ashanti?
Again, thank you for coming on Life According to Rick. And
Thank you for having
I
me.
love you.
I love you more.
And I'm always going to be here for you no matter what, no matter what age. And I'll definitely work on trying to make more time for you and, for us to like hang out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So, so those listening, where can they find Miss Kiki girl?
Oh, Miss Kiki Girl. Y'all want to step into Miss Kiki Girl's life? My Instagram is underscore KI.ANAA. Find me on Instagram. You can also find my TikTok there. And yeah, I mean, I'm just living my best life, life according to Kiana. On my story on Instagram, it's life according to Kiana.
we're gonna keep the legacy going.
Yes, of course.
All right, I love that for you. So thank you guys once again for listening to Life According to Rick. This is now episode 22. I hope you guys have a blessed and rest of your week, and we will catch you guys next time.